guys, so before we start this video, I want to give a big shout out for Thomas Fitz for filming all of the things you have seen in part 1 and what you're about to see in part 2. So go follow him on social media and let's get right into this video.
Okay, well these are some of the rattlesnakes that we have here at the zoo. These are our eastern diamondbacks. The eastern diamondbacks are the largest North American species of rattlesnake. The Staten Island Zoo is known historically for the large rattlesnake collection. It goes back to the infancy of the Staten Island Zoo's collection. Carl Caulfield was known to be a diverse exhibitor of the different rattlesnakes of North America. So he was really the one that put us on the map for this type of collection.
I have a quick question. What's the relation between the turtles and the rattlesnakes?
So turtles and snakes live together in the wild. So one might say, well, how come the rattlesnake isn't hurting the box turtle? And it's, a lot of times snakes will actually use the burrows or hang out in some of the hides that turtles use. So in the deserts, the desert tortoises will dig burrows, and some of the desert rattlesnakes will use those burrows and just live with them. But you could tell, this snake couldn't possibly eat that size turtle. It would never be able to digest the shell, so it has no reason to harm it. Venom is really expensive for them to be able to produce. And right back here you can see that's where the venom gland is, on the top of the head right there. And then they have these collapsible fangs. And those collapsible fangs bend back, and when they go to inject their prey with their venom, they flip those fangs up and then they'll bite like that. So the vipers or the rattlesnakes, they have collapsible fangs. And they also have something called pits. And the pits are right over here, and they help detect heat. And they also have a forked tongue, and they'll use that forked tongue. As you can see, it's, he'll smell around with that for smelling around and seeing if there is prey around. So pretty specialized animals. This one happens to have a pretty short rattle. Every time they shed their skin, they get a new button or a new loop on that rattle. The rattle's composed of kind of like what your fingernails are made out of. So if you took 2 of your fingernails, you put one inside of the other, and you rub them against each other, it would kind of make a rattle sound, and that's basically just what a rattlesnake's rattle is. But yeah, 2 different color phases of the same species of rattlesnake.
Yep.
Okay? Okay. So this is my favorite part of the zoo, and it's our amphibian collection. Amphibians are so important to the environment, and they're disappearing due to various reasons, but the thing that I love about them is their delicate nature. They have skin that absorbs any kind of toxins that might be in the environment, so they're environmental indicator species. So if the environment is polluted or if there's anything going on, they're a litmus test to tell how the ecosystem is doing. So right here we have Anatheca spinosa. We have a species called Anatheca spinosa. They're from Panama. They're found in very high canopy. They're cavity breeders. And they have a really unique thing about them. They have this spiny skeleton that grows on the top of their head, and that's typical of this species. We don't know why, but this is just characteristic of that species. You can see he has like these really sticky toe pads, and that's for being a tree climber. Really big eyes because they're nocturnal. a really beautiful, beautiful frog that's indigenous to Panama. And unfortunately, these animals are declining because of something called chytrid fungus. And chytrid fungus is a fungus that's spread through the environment at these higher elevations where these animals get infected with the disease. It harms their skin, and they just don't do well. So a lot of zoos are trying to captive breed this species to help protect it. Individually, in the wild, they live up high in the canopy, and then during the spring, you'll hear them call, like you hear the call on the speaker there. During the spring, the males will call to the females and let them know that it's, breeding season. So pretty much they're solid. They're solitary, but they will come together during breeding season and call. And these guys have a different call, just like any other species of frog.
Yeah.
So this is a rhino iguana. It's a female. They're from different islands of the West Indies. They're in the genus Cyclora. And the females are a little bit smaller than the males. They have these really big jowls, and they'll kind of size each other up and do this kind of head bobbing. That's how they're being territorial. They're kind of bent, bob their head from side to side. Right now, what she's doing is she's basking under her UV light. Reptiles need a lot of UV light in order to do well in captivity. In the wild, they would be basking out in the sun. But in captivity, you kind of have to recreate those conditions. She's just kind of walking around. You see they have really dry skin. And today's feeding day, so she's kind of waiting over where they would normally put her food dish.
So what do you guys feed her?
She eats salad.
Oh, she does?
Yeah, they eat vegetation, so they're pretty herbivorous. Like I said, they do have territories, so the males will fight. She's a little aggressive towards the zookeepers, but that's okay. But yeah, she's kind of looking around, waiting for her meal. But just a really impressive looking animal.
Oh yeah.
Very different. Yeah. And each island in the West Indies has a different species of rhino iguana. So this is Cyclora cornuta, and there's a bunch of different ones depending on what island you go to.
If you want to touch him,
Yeah.
you can see he feels kind of coarse.
Yeah.
That's because his quills are hollow, and that will help him to regulate his body temperature. And also, it explains the reason why he's called a spiny mouse. Because when he sees predators, he'll spike up his fur like that.
Oh yeah.
He'll look like kind of a spiny rock, so the predators wouldn't want to eat him, since it'll cause him harm.
Yeah.
Lettuce and carrots, since he is a herbivore.
This is the Natural Wild with Cathy. You can go figure, the Natural Wild with Cathy Esther.
Hey, yeah, you can come to the zoo. We're on 614 Broadway, Staten Island, New York. Or you can follow our social media on Facebook and Instagram. Thank you.
Thank you.